Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Generator Skills Impact Series. I'm Ann Nadel. I'm our Vice President of the Skills Accelerator, and I'm really excited to welcome Brendan to our call today. Hi, Brendan. How you doing?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And I'm very grateful that you are taking time out of your busy week to join us for the Impact Series.
Yeah, of course. Definitely I think there's a lot of benefit that everybody's going to read from this program. So,
Yes, we appreciate your perspective. And let's just jump right into everything. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
yeah, hi. So, my name is Brendan Chan. When I started the program, I was the chief engineer for autonomy active safety over at Oshkosh Corporation in Wisconsin. Now, today, I'm the head of autonomy at Fortastra Corporation over in Torrance, California. Um, but that's one of the transitions that we're going through is basically, when you have growth, then you start moving to roles that have a lot more impact.
Yes, and you're also moving cross country as well from Wisconsin to California. So congratulations on that. That'll be a big
Thank
change.
you. Yes.
And tell us
Yeah.
what led you to the Skills Accelerator? And particularly, you joined us for the Generative AI for Leaders program.
Yes. And the key part that attracted me about the program was basically the fact that I had the choice of, either randomly looking at YouTube videos and trying to learn something about this new technology called AI, right? Or I could go through a structured program of sorts and see how well this works. The best thing about this program was basically it had a good mix of structured programs and that had quite a bit of rigor to it. And then you basically also have lunch and learns with a lot of experts that I felt had a lot of value that really showed how this technology is being used today to make changes in the world.
Amazing. And tell us a little bit about how your experience in the program went. So obviously you're a full-time employee and have all of those, responsibilities, but then you also chose to take on this program. So tell us a little bit about the kind of like how you managed to do both.
Sure. In the grand scheme of things, when you consider that for people that are working in the world, right, in order to be to be taking on training, you have to be deliberate. You have to make time for it. In my case, I carved out specific time. I blocked out time, right? Basically, and that's the trade-offs that you're gonna have to make. The current time for both the lunch and learns as well as completing the assignments and tasks, right? Because having the ability to create that commitment, I think is going to be really important for any individual who's wanting to take on anything like this.
Got it. And in your program specifically, you obviously had the learning modules. So as you mentioned, you kind of learned a lot of the information there. And then talk to us about the use case. Kind of explain to us what you did for your use case and the way in which you utilized, again, kind of your time block and your time management skills in order to get that completed.
Sure. Yeah, in my use case, I was looking at it from a startup perspective, how you would actually utilize this to create a workflow, to be able to, create ideas and then be able to run through them, organize them, and then refine them for like presentations and such. But also at the same time, we're also looking in the back into how a lot of these things can be used for software development and how you create workflows for that. A lot of the engineering today, a lot of it is software, and basically one of the things that everybody should be trying to figure out is how do I use these guys to be able to create the workflow and the workforce of the future, right? How to utilize that, because that's where you can use the AI tools as your software, as your uh, force multipliers, basically.
Got it. And share with us a little bit after you created that workflow, kind of have you played around with it? Have you used it? Is it working the way that you thought it was going to work? Are you having to do additional tinkering and refinements to it?
Yeah. Initially, when you first create something, there's no guarantee that it'll work, right? You put together something, Murphy's Law is always in action. So
Yes.
you always like, okay, like this didn't work the way I thought it would. Then you would like kind of have to look at the output and you'd have to refine how you did it, right? And build out. In some cases, you use agents. In some cases, you just build out the workflow and make sure that there's a lot of things in there that you expect it to deliver what it's supposed to deliver, right? And then the other part is, so depending on what it is that the problem, specific problem that you're trying to fix, start somewhere and then refine it. That's the main thing. There's no guarantee that anywhere where you start is going to be where you end. And if you don't try, you'll never get there.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
So, in terms of how you've used it for your work setting, do you find that in the companies, both the one that you are moving from and then the one that you're moving into, are you finding that there are structured AI kind of like learning opportunities, or is it up to each of you, kind of as the leaders of your divisions, to kind of gain that understanding and then bring it into your teams? I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I think it's more the latter. The if you want to get structured programs, there are specific programs that you can join that are paid, right? I mean, there's various online platforms that have that, Coursera, Udemy, those guys. But also at the same time, a lot of times, a lot of those programs are like they're not, well, you have to also make time for it, but it's also not cheap, right? And not all companies pay for that. And that's the good part about this particular program is that basically a lot of the funding uh, part of it was less of a worry for the participants of the program. And I think it really opened up a lot of worlds. And I got to know a lot of people working in different areas, marketing and supply chain and things like that, and understanding how they saw things. And those that it's good to get a different level of perspective from the other participants in the program.
That's great to know. And you're right. We have we're very grateful to the Bay Area Workforce Development Board and Microsoft, who are the ones who were able to fund the program that you went through. And it's interesting to hear, though, that, that even at your level, you are still seeking out kind of opportunities to learn about AI and then bring them back into the workplace, which is something that, this program specifically aims to target teams of people at companies so that you as a team can kind of learn and grow, but then ultimately bring it back to your space that you're working in on a daily basis and really deploy those tools.
Right. I mean, absolutely. The value in a lot of AI tools today is that basically you could actually use that to improve the lives of the team members. Like things that are mundane tasks that, they don't want to deal with and things like that. They could have them create a quick script that basically does it for them, right, in the background and those kind of things. So there are a lot of other things you could be doing as well. As basically, there are days where when you show up, you're there, the PowerPoint is there, but no, the work's there, but you're not there. And then this could help you organize your thoughts a little bit, and then kind of get you out of that block, that mental block. So that's the whole idea. Is a lot of it to be the enabler for you to and your team members to be able to accomplish more, even in some of the more difficult days of the week.
No, that makes sense. And the idea that you can use it as a thought partner, but also as an execution partner, right? To kind of get all the information that you're looking to depart to in the presentation that you're wanting to create, and utilize it as a go-between, basically, to basically create it, and then you refine it and keep going until it does have that final version that you're looking for.
Right. I mean, even like for me, like I have my own personal Claude subscription and Chat GPT subscription, but
Okay.
a lot of the settings that I have, right, actually the way that I set it up was basically to make sure that the AI doesn't always just agree with me, but also challenges me on ideas and things like that, and pushing back on things and ask me what do I want to do, such that I can refine my own thoughts. And that's the main thing is that a lot of this will only come, you'll get some good start through the formal program, but then from then, you need to refine how you use it and make sure that you make it work for you, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely. It's like training employees like you would if they were coming onto your team. Basically, also
yeah,
training this level of technology to kind of support what you're doing, but to your point, also push back in spaces, make sure that you're thinking about things from a larger perspective and really getting down to the details to make sure that they're all accurate.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So share with us what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about joining the Skills Accelerator and particularly the AI for Leaders training program?
I would say go in with an open mind. There is a ton of possibilities there, whether you're working in supply chain, finance, engineering, or even business development or like business model development. There's a lot of things that you can gather from trying to utilize the tools like this, right? To either help you focus, have you expand your area of research, those kind of things. So there's a lot of possibilities that could come from for anybody who's joining an AI for Leaders program. And we're all growing as leaders, and I think this is one step of the journey. And the new generation of leadership will require us to be AI literate.
Absolutely. And that's such a good point where, this is something where we're all, having to step into, learn about, and ultimately refine that learning kind of every week or sometimes multiple times a week, depending on what gets released. So it's a very fast-paced um,
Mhm.
entree into all of these things. But to your point, once you kind of get the basic tools down, then you can really start to dig in a little bit further and understand how to utilize them to give the output that you're looking for.
Yes.
Fantastic. And last but not least, Brendan, if you could share one message with our audience today, what would that be?
I would say keep learning, keep growing, right? No matter how high of a level you are or how long have you been working in an area, there's always room for us to learn more. Best days of my working days is when I learn something new, whether it's from my team members or, by myself. So I think learning is going to be key for anybody who's thinking of growing as a leader, as a professional in the area.
I love that. I love the way you take the growth and the learning as the best parts of your day. And I would agree with you that it's wonderful to learn new things and then ultimately get new tools that we can deploy and continue using over and over again.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, Brendan, thank you so much for joining us today on the Impact Series. We appreciate you sharing your perspective and your expertise, and we wish you the best of luck in your new role and your move to California.
Right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You take
Thank
care.
you.